welcome back to my art channel. It has been a minute, hasn't it? A bit more than a minute. It's been like 2 months. Yes, so we are back, and I will just quickly address that, yes, I'm a redhead now. A fair bit has happened in the last couple of months, I must say. Today, yes, I had a helicopter crash into my elderly neighbor's house, and yeah, that was literally a couple of houses down. I do have a couple of videos that I have uploaded here on YouTube and on TikTok, which covers that if you are interested in finding out more about that. Anyway, yes, so trying to pick up where we left off a little bit, which I do apologize, has been a little bit hectic because I believe the last thing I mentioned was something about us having a rat infestation because my dear cat had passed away, which I will be continuing on painting his portrait, which again I feel like I've bitten off more than I can chew here because I've never done realism painting before, and although I've been reading up tutorials and things, it has been like it's quite complicated. I would say it is far more complicated than doing abstract, which is what I'm used to, which is like you feel it's more about connecting with the feelings than it is with, trying to get things to look like they actually do look in real life. So yeah, there is that. So I have had some people that said they wanted some updates about what happened with the mice. We are still thoroughly infested with the mice. We have tried a few things. We've tried to use one of those audio thingers, where it's supposed to send out like an audio signal that scares off the mice, and I think it did work for like the first week. And the range though was like one room kind of thing. So it wasn't like it didn't reach very far, and it kept if you have a small apartment when you don't have much stuff in that apartment, then it might be more effective than an entire house. And so Mum's just been clearing out like the kitchen and the rumpus room, which we have like way too many snacks and things just sort of laying around, I think, is the problem. So the mice have been very well fed. We have tried using the traps. We have found some traps that do not actually harm the mice. So what you can do is you can capture them and then release them. Which there's places in the far bush where they can live a wild, happy life, and not harm anyone in particular. You do have to make sure that you don't release them near any farmers or anything like that. So yeah. So that is our second plan, which Dad is working on. I think he's bought a couple of the traps and has set them around the house. But yes, the reason why we're not doing the obvious solution of just getting another cat, because cats clearly are far more superior in the management of rodents, is that my parents said that they are getting a bit older now, and they want to do some traveling as well, and so they they can't really be responsible for a pet, especially if I end up moving out or something like that. Then they won't be able to take care of the pet. So yeah. So there's that. I do believe the letter that we got up to was, the previous one was P, so we're up to Q. I think I actually did film a couple of videos, not even one, a couple of videos for the letter Q, and then I totally lost it. So I did think the letter Q would represent queer, queens. I came up with a few other Q words. Questions. So yeah, there's all that. I kind of also somebody said to me that because a couple of my profile pictures was like me going like thoughtfulness, and they were like, yeah, you're kind of like the Velociraptor, the meme. And I was like, yeah, actually, because I do go on philosophical tangents. Like, if you have seen any of my previous stuff, it's like, yeah, I will be painting and then I will get some sort of philosophical insight. And I mean, I did minor in philosophy at uni, so there is probably a fair bit of philosophical stuff going on in the noggin. So yes, I'm going to attempt to like get stuck back into some painting here. Which again, with the philosophies, I have found what works. It works for me. That I am Christian. I do believe in God, and I find that it really helps whenever I feel anxious and stuff to pray. Like, I find it very calming. It does, like, you take a moment to just sort of center yourself and pray. And God does work in mysterious ways. I was actually reminded of the time I was watching that Bo Burnham show where he was using the microphone and he tripped over the mic stand and almost fell off the stage, and he was like, "Ah, God works in very direct and technical ways." And I kind of believe that too. I do think that, like, sometimes God does work in mysterious ways, but sometimes he does work in, like, very direct ways. And one of the things is, I was actually just praying, like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, please, just give me some inspiration, some guidance. And yeah, it just popped up on one of my feeds, keep doing art. And I was like, that is a weird thing. And it's like, God says, like, you know, actual text that says, God says, just keep doing your art. And I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, I'm not going to argue with God, right? I'm just gonna paint. I'm just gonna keep creating my art. So here we are. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to continue on this piece of art because, like I said, I just feel more comfortable with doing abstract work right now. I will get on to doing more on my cat at some stage, but I'm gonna work up to that because let's not dive in the deep end just yet. Let me find my sea legs a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Try to get this where you can sort of see what I'm doing. Yeah. I kind of want to start putting an eyeball here. I feel like an eyeball. So I'm gonna start with a fairly large brush, and we're gonna get in here like a nice kind of brownish eye, I think. Nice kind of swirliness. And like I mentioned at the beginning, with abstract, it's more about capturing the feeling than anything else. So it's a little more instinctual. And I mean, I think that's why I feel kind of more relaxed and connected with it, because it's just, you do what you feel. So we're just doing this. I think I'm gonna have to go in a bit darker. We are gonna build like a couple of layers in here. I think it always looks better once you build more layers. Like, again, this is very much a base coat, and you want base coats so that you can build up that layer, the textures, things like that. Just gonna find some, I think you want that a bit darker. I don't know why these brown things, I might have to go hunt down some of the brown, because brown is again a bit like black. It's like if you start mixing it too much, it just sort of gets dirtier and dirtier, muddier and muddier, and then it's just not a nice color. So it is easier and I mean, it is a little bit of cop out that you just kind of just get pre-mixed ones, but I mean, why make it hard for yourself? I don't feel the need to torture myself for art. Like, I think, yes, sometimes great art does come from, like, really painful experiences. But I think it can equally come out amazing if you channel, like, positive, happy, fun experiences as well. So, like, while I think a lot of art is emotionally driven, I mean, as I said, it could be mysterious ways that you create things, it could be very technical ways that you create things. But it is important to just create things. I've already made a mess. See, I accidentally dropped some paint there. I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna grab some water here. Try not to spill it everywhere. I hope everybody else is having a really good Christmas so far. I mean, it is the last day of November currently for me. I don't know when you'll be watching this video, but yes, currently it's the last day of November and the first day of... for some reason I was gonna say McDonald's. My brain is so jumbled. It's the first day of December in Australia, where I am, tomorrow. Which I think means, because we're like in a weird part of the world, that in America, it's probably the 1st of December there already. So I believe that people would be getting into the Christmas spirit a little bit at this stage. As you can see, I've already decorated a tree, like the little Merry Christmas ornaments. I got these big white baubles. And I did a lot of reading on mistletoe, which was actually really fun. Yeah. I like the little snowflakes. I mean, again, we're here in Australia, and it's just like, it's burning hot. Like, it's summer down here, so, in the land down under. So everything is, like, burning and on fire. So it's kind of funny that, like, stuff like this, Christmas ornaments, are, like, snowflakes. Like, because there's no snow happening down here at all. It's like literally a snowball's chance, right? So yeah. Oh, I got some new brushes, which is kind of cool. Again, trying to hide brands, but I don't know. It's probably okay if I just mention I got them from IKEA. Again, not sponsored or anything. Would be nice if I was, but not. If, you know, I only mention the brands if, like, you know, it's like, oh, if you guys want to get these things, that's where you get them. So I got some new ones, and I do like how white and glossy they are. And they feel really nice and smooth, so I think we'll get some really nice smooth strokes out of them. And I busted open this packet because I do want that finer, rounder brush. And eep. We're a little like, we're at 15 minutes. We're cool. We are cool for another like 2 minutes. I'm actually going to go straight in with some black here. And I'm just going to take it straight from the tube. Not going to put any water on the brush. It's like nice and like, it's quite rigid, like right from the packet. I think they've got some sort of like styling glue or something so it looks like good in the packet. And as I was like literally always saying, you want to be quite economically, like you don't want to use black too much. You want to be quite what's the word for it? You want to just be minimalistic with it. Like, you don't want it to overpower like the rest of your work. So there we are, kind of like outlining the eye with some mascara. I am pretty proud of my eyeliner game when I do put on eyeliner. I don't have any eyeliner on at the moment. It's just nice bare lashes. I might do a makeup tutorial someday. That sounds like something that might be fun. There we go. I also had some ideas where I wanted to actually do some artwork for some tarot cards. Because as much as I'm technical minded for a lot of things, I am quite instinctual as well. Like, so I do have a fair bit of intuition, and I did start doing some like tarot reading with like this. This is a cute little. I'll just show you. Cute little deck that I got from Sports Girl one day actually. I'm just gonna make sure I did not just put on a paintbrush. So I got this from, and I just put my hand in black paint. I actually got this from Sports Girl. Of all the strange places to find a deck of tarot cards. And it's like a cute little like travel deck thing, which is and it's a nice like purple color, which kind of matches my toenails at the moment. Okay, not to make that weird or anything. But yes. So I have found that this deck, I have asked it like very rudimentary, yes, no questions occasionally, and I found it to be pretty accurate, in the sense that, well, I think that a lot of the divination stuff, it's kind of like if you read something, like you kind of have a background knowledge of your situation, for example. And so if you pull out a card and the first thing your brain connects to is like will be something that has to do with you, right? So say if you are, I suppose the thing, a lot of the tarot readings tend to be about romance and finding partner. So in the back of your mind, you must be thinking about trying to find a partner, right? And that's why when you look at the tarots or the tarots that come up on your YouTube feed or things like that are going to be about romance. And so I always think that there is some sort of psychological component to it. So, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, the mystical things in life can also have a practical, like, explanation as well. And I tend to look at these things as having, like, so again, that whole, like, mysterious ways versus technical ways, right? I think a lot of these things do work in a technical way. The more you look at things where you, I mean, it's that whole thing about manifestation and like that what you kind of manifest in the world, like what you want and want to attract in the world, you put out those kind of vibes that you just want to have those things, and then those things will appear. Because, like, okay, say you're going shopping for an item, right? Like, I was going shopping for some paintbrushes, right? In the back of my head, I'm just, like, thinking, oh yeah, paintbrushes, I gotta remember, right? And I might do things like put it on a shopping list or something like that, and then I go to the store, and there'll be, like, hundreds of thousands of different products in the store, and I'll be wandering past all of them. And then when I see the paintbrushes, I will go, oh, I wanted those things because that's what I was thinking about getting in the first place, and therefore I go and I buy the paintbrushes, right? If I wasn't thinking about getting that in the first place, then I wouldn't have headed out. I probably might not have even gone shopping. Definitely wouldn't have put it on a list. Wouldn't have noticed them when I walked past them in the store. So I think, like, manifesting is quite a lot like that. Like, you have the idea in your head to begin with, and because you have the idea in your head, you then do a whole heap of things that might be very very subtle and instinctive, like that you would just do without even thinking that, like, oh, that was an actual action or step towards the goal. So if you think, you want to be, like my original example of, like, with you want romance, you want true love, things like that, then if you think that that's what you want in your head to begin with, then you'll do things like every day to work towards that goal, even if it's like on a subconscious level. So yeah, again, very technical side of the mystical. Table. And I'm gonna put some lashes on this, I think. And there's not enough. I need some water on this. Water is very helpful. Yeah. So, I didn't really touch that much on the topic of the letter Q at all. Actually, speaking of manifesting things, Q, Queen, Queens and Kings, there's gonna be a chess boxing tournament that's on, well, it's kind of on my birthday, because like I said, in Australia, right, my birthday's on the 12th of the 12th, and in America it's on the 11th of December. So I mean, I would love to manifest actually going to that event, because that sounds like really cool. It's a chess boxing event that Ludwig is running, and I was like, that would be so cool. I even put on Twitter, it'd be like, it would be an awesome birthday present if I could attend that. I would absolutely love to be there. So let's hope that manifests somehow. Yeah. But, like, yeah, it's in America, so it's gonna be, like, expensive for me to fly there. Yeah. And I'm going to... Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to add to this, that I might just do that off camera, because it is a bit distracting trying to explain what you're doing at the same time as doing something. It's kind of like when someone goes, "Oh, how do you breathe?" and you're just like, "I don't know, I just go." Like, and you know, it is like medically a huge, like, complicated oxygen exchange, like, explanation. I'm sure there's like some, like, a lot of sciences about, and like how it gets like right down into your lungs and all that sort of molecular sciencey stuffs. But I don't know, I just breathe. It's basically my answer when people go, "How do you breathe?" Yeah. Oh, cute. Queer stuff. I guess I'll just sort of end on the note that, like, as I have mentioned in my previous things, that I am considered ace, demi-ace to be more specific, which is considered queer. Which I am absolutely always grateful that the queer community does embrace us. So thank you again to everyone in the queer community. And that has definitely it has been very wonderful that, like, the queer community has been so kind and inclusive to us. We do struggle with very, very different kind of, like, there are some things that are very similar. Like, you do have to, like, deal with a fair bit of, like, prejudice and stuff, because people do have a lot of misconceptions around it. So that is very similar, but, like, at the same time, it's sort of very much like, particularly if you, like, are avoiding sex, and it's like the queer, like, other queers tend to be, like, more about wanting to have that or trying to seek that out. So there is, like, a very different kind of struggle there. So there are a few issues that are very different, but there are a few issues that are very similar. And it has been very wonderful that the queer community has been very supportive and inclusive, despite some of the things that are very different. So I do want to just basically thank all the queer people that were very inclusive of us aces. So that covers the letter Q. And I will see you in the next video. So see you later.